Hello YouTube, it is Atticus. Welcome back everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm rested. I took a little time for myself after Norsko week there. Took a little break, kind of charged myself. Had to say goodbye to a friend who moved, my best friend actually, and yeah, it's just been a lot of things going on. So I took a little, week to myself, guys. But we are back, and I have been watching a lot of like tabletop games, and I watched a dwarf game. It kind of inspired me to play the Dolly. And this map right here, I feel is really fun for the dwarfs because there's a really cool defensive position that you could take, and you can see right here, I've taken just that. So I'll go ahead and just jump into my build, and I'll show you why I put up on this ledge here, guys. So what I did here is I took Grombrindle for my lord. I figured that my opponent might try to overcompensate and bring somebody like Krokgar or somebody who would, he would expect the anti-large Slayer King. But yeah, if he takes a Foot Lord, Grombrindle is one of the best dwarf duelists in the game. He has like 500 something weapon strength. He has a lot of the Red Axe of Ruin, I think it's what it's called, of Grombrindle. I mean, look at that, 40% armor piercing damage. He has Smoke Bomb, which will lower down melee defense, and he's just a really good duelist. So if your opponent brings a Foot Lord, which I kind of guessed right, we should be able to win that engagement. For his little bodyguard section, guys, we're taking the Peak Gate Guard Hammerers, and these guys are going to be dealing with Temple Guard and Source. I needed something with a little muscle. As with most dwarf builds, you need things to hold in place. That's why I have all these dwarf warriors, but I need something that can actually get through some of his more elite troops. And you can see we've positioned right on this cliff right here, guys, so he is not going to be able to flank us. And you can see I've stationed a Dwarf Warrior right here on this little left pass here. It's one of the only openings. If he tried to flank me, he'd have to get around these guys. I have 4 Dwarf Warriors consisting of my front line. These guys will be plenty sufficient just to hold things in place, while the killing power of my army, which is going to be this organ gun, guys. So yeah, we are trying the organ gun. He has really good line of sight up on this hill, and he's going to be buffed by a Master Engineer, and the Master Engineer has some buffs that will increase your accuracy and reload speed. So yeah, he's really powerful. If you're going to invest in that artillery advantage, well then yeah, we're going to have it, to its full potential. Protecting them is just a unit of miners in reserve right here. You can see I also have some anti-large contingent, guys. So I took 2 units of the Iron Drakes, the Trollhammer torpedoes, and why I like this is because you can see right here, there's no way for my opponent to harass my back line. I'm on this really good cliff right here. I have miners and dwarf warriors protecting each flank right here, and yeah, I should be able to keep my range units firing. So I have 2 of these guys, which will be trying to to shoot dinos, and we have 1 unit of Thunderers. Where are these guys at? Right here. And yeah, like I said, these guys all have line of sight up on this hill, so they'll be able to shoot over my troops. So this is like that perfect formation, the perfect defensive dwarves. As long as I can keep him from getting into the cookie pot, as long as I can protect my sides here, he has no choice but to try to grind through me. All meanwhile, that organ gun's going to be firing. And you can see, last but not least, guys, we do have a unit of the Gyrocopter Brimstone guns, just to deal with any cav that my opponent might have. And you can see that he does have a few things in Vanguard right here. So as for my opponent, we are fighting Krokgar on foot, guys. So yeah, I like this pick. Krokgar is powerful as well, 440 weapon strength. He has some pretty good buffs, but he is an anti-large lord, so Grombrindle should have the advantage on a one-on-one fight. For his infantry core, guys, he has 2 units of dwarf warriors with shields, a whole bunch of skink core javelins, which I really do like these guys. If I'd have brought like great weapons, these guys could do a lot of good damage with their poison. But I have silver shields on my troops, I do believe, bronze shields, excuse me. So yeah, we're going to be able to deflect 30-something% of the missiles that he shoots at me. He also has a unit of red-crested skinks. He has a unit of salamanders here. And you can see we also have an ancient stegodon, guys. You don't really see that a lot. It's going to be, the only downside to it is it's going to rampage, but it's going to be really good against dwarves. It has a lot of mass. And you can see we do have the Arca Sotex. I'm going to really want to get this thing dealt with quickly because it has that poison AoE ability, which will lower the combat stats of my troops. Here on the sides, in his little surprise attack unit right here, he has a Cold One Rider, and he has a Feral Cold Ones. And then in Deep Vanguard, we have a Pteranodon Rider. So these are the poison ones. So let's go ahead and start the match here, guys, and see how this goes. So right off the bat, as the swimming pool is going to say to my face later when I go swimming, Yeah, we'll let that one slide. So yeah, we're playing the Dwarfs. Obviously, we're not going to really be advancing. I'm going to check behind me. Luckily, like I said, there's this cliff right here, so he's not going to be able to do any shenanigans in the back. I am going to spot the threat of these pterodons, and I'm going to use my gyrocopter right here to try to intercept. Now, I don't want to send them one-on-one because the gyrocopter, I do believe, will lose. So I'm going to send him next to these iron drakes, and that should be a plenty deterrent to keep him from coming in there and trying to bomb me or do some damage. You can see we are going to get a few shots on the skeet cohorts, but the real big threat is going to be these salamanders. So I am going to buff up my organ gun. You can see I'm going to give the so let's slow it down here for a second so I can show you the buffs that I did. So yeah, with the Master Engineer, we are going to buff him up. I'm going to get ballistics calibration, which is going to give me accuracy and reload speed, and entrenchment. And yeah, you can see it's going to just buff up the damage of that organ gun, and look at the damage that it's going to do to these salamanders. I mean, each volley is pretty much just wiping these guys out. We've already much taken them down to almost half health, and yeah, these guys haven't even done any damage yet. You can see my opponent is going to move up with the skink cohorts right here, but yeah, we have all these shielded units, and I'm just going to move them up to intercept. I'm going to keep my thunder or my hammers out of range. And yeah, we're just going to start taking all these shots right here, but the shield is going to be plenty sufficient to block, and these guys aren't going to take much damage. And you can see that my organ gun is just absolutely just shredding through these guys. We're going to be able to break that unit. He's not going to get any value out of him, and yeah, things are going to be looking good for us. You can see the iron drakes are here going to come try to shut down these pterodon riders. I'm just protecting my back line, and yeah, you can see that the organ gun is just cleaning these guys up, and we are going to start advancing. So yeah, even though he is going to have the advantage up on this hill, guys, I figured, as long as this little backline area is protected, we should be good. We are going to start opening up on the Bastiodon Archaeotek, and yeah, you can see my Thunderers are going to open up, the organ gun's going to open up, and yeah, the Iron Drakes will open up as well. You can see the front lines are going to start to collide here, guys, and look at the damage that we're doing to his Archaeotek. I mean, that's pretty much just the theme of the game, and you can see that the Hammerers are going to come charging in. We're going to be able to just absolutely shred through these Saurus. You can see I am going to use the Flash Bomb. Let's go ahead and slow it down, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. You use the organ gun buffed with a Master Engineer. Look at that damage. I mean, it's just doing so good for us, especially with the support of all my range units, and my opponent just does not have a way to really shut them down. You can see that the Dwarf Warriors are going to start, creating a battle line for me. We're keeping all his units in place, and the Peak Gate Hammerers is absolutely just going to be shredding through these Saurus Warriors. You can see that they're losing decisively. Over on this side, my opponent has a lot more troops, but all we need to do is just keep these guys in place, buy myself time, and you can see that's what we're going to do, because these Temple Guard I will eventually start shooting up and shooting as well. Now, my opponent does have his little cav contingent, which is coming around this hill right here, so I have to be mindful of it, and I will reposition some of my forces to try to intercept these guys, and I just need to keep this pocket right here alive. So you can see how quickly the Archaeotek here is just getting absolutely just shredded. That's 2 elite units that are absolutely just going to get crushed. And yeah, you can see a unit of his swords are just going to get crushed by the Peak Gate Hammerers with the support of Grombrindle. And that's going to open up the middle pocket right here. Things are looking really good for us. You can see we are going to respond to his cav units, and just all this pressure, the miners, the Iron Drakes, the helicopters. We're going to be able to just shred these guys really quickly. And you can see I do have a unit of miners right here just keeping him from getting into my troops. You can see I'm going to take a charge by these guys, but that's okay. Like, it'll be a while before they can kill my troops, and I have a lot of range overwatch, which will be able to shoot them. You can see that the Peak Gate Guard are going to get into combat right here. They're going to be able to hold these guys in place. Now, I do have to be careful of that Ancient Stegodon, but yeah, with Grombrindle in the mix, he's given like plus 16 leadership. They're not going to be terror routing anytime soon, and you can see the balance of power is starting to drift into my favor, guys. We're able to shut down these Pharaoh Cold Ones really quick, and yeah, these Cold One Riders are going to be breaking as well, which is going to open up all my range units again. You can see that the organ gun is starting to shoot at these salamanders who have came back from routing, but yeah, we're just instantly just countering them, breaking them, and we will start being able to focus on the Pharaoh Stegodon here pretty shortly. You can see now that I've dealt with all his backline harass, I'm going to have all these units start shooting at the Ancient Stegodon, the Pharaoh Stegodon, and yeah, we'll be able to do some really good damage right here. Pretty soon, Grombrindle will start having a one-on-one of Krokgar, and you can see Krokgar has already taken a lot of damage, guys. So yeah, we're looking really good right here, and you can see I am buffing up the organ gun, and look at that, just one volley takes this Pharaoh Stegodon down to half health. It's just deadly, that synergy, guys. The Thunderers, the Iron Drakes, the buffed up organ gun with entrenchment, and we're just going to break his elite unit before he even has a chance to do anything. You can see these Temple Guard are going to come right now. We're going to get off one of the volleys of my miners of blasting charges, which is, yeah, it's going to do a little damage. We need to keep those Temple Guard kept in place, and you can see these Red Crested Skinks are trying to get into combat, but yeah, now we have a duel of the Lords, guys. You can see that Grombrindle and Krokgar are going to get into a 1v1. Now, Krokgar does have his physical resistance, his deadly onslaught, and all my abilities are on cooldown. But yeah, Grombrindle just has so much better combat stats, and he will win that. You can see that my hammerers are holding up all these units right here. They're doing their job. The Peak Gate Guard, I should say, with their armor sundering. And yeah, he does have the scary unit of Temple Guard, but at least we're getting some blasting charges off, and I will be able to reposition my organ gun right here and start firing at them as soon as he tries to advance on me. Over here, you can see the Dwarf Warriors. These cheap 500 Dwarf Warriors have just been holding up all his troops. We are going to be able to break the Pharaoh Stegodon. And you can see that organ gun, guys. It's just such a powerful tool. I just love it. You know, it's shut down all his elite troops. You can see he is going to break through my Dwarf Warriors. These miners are going to be falling soon. But we just need to keep these guys in place. And yeah, we're going to start trying to put our range units onto them. And you'll watch how quickly the Temple Guard do get shut down. You can see, yeah, they're just getting melted. With all the Iron Drakes shooting them, the Thunderers, the artillery, those guys aren't going to be long for this world. You can see the duel between Grombrindle and Krokgar is going well. I mean, yeah, he does have that anti-large, but he's not getting that bonus on me, and we are winning that fight as well, guys. And you can see he is trying to charge with these Temple Guard, but yeah, these guys are just absolutely just getting shredded. Look at that. That is just yeah, they're going to break before they even hit my front line. You can see that my organ gun is almost out of ammunition, but we've pretty much dealt with all the most, all his more powerful troops right here. Things are looking really good for us. And you can see Grombrindle and Krokgar are still going at it, but yeah, just a few more shots, and we'll be able to hit him. And you can see I'm going to open up my Thunderers now to try to shoot Krokgar. Now that we don't have any other units to prioritize, yeah, we'll just try to deal with his leadership. And you see he's absolutely just going to get shredded. And he will be breaking here really quickly, even with his swiftness of Idzel, his damage resistance and everything. And yeah, his Lord has broken. So instead of chasing, I'm just going to send Grombrindle into this last little pocket right here. You can see Krokgar is just getting shredded by my organ gun and my Thunderers. And yeah, things are looking good for us, guys. You can see that this whole game, my Dwarf Warriors have just been holding up his swords. And yeah, these guys will just grind to the bitter end. And yeah, my range units now are just going to be cleaning up some of his, shaft units that are left. You can see Grombrindle, with the support of the Peak Gate Hammerers, are going to come in here. We're going to break a Flash Bomb, which will crush these Saurus Warriors, and it's just going to be army losses and a win for Dwarves. So that is, my friends, the perfect defense. That is using the map to your advantage, and that is a really good build against Lizards. So looking at some of the keys for my success, I think Grombrindle is a really good pick on this one. I mean, everybody expects Ungram, but Grombrindle is really good if you're going to expect a Footlord, and he's powerful enough where he could deal with a Carnosaur or a big dinosaur. He has the weapon strength and the armor piercing. The Master Engineer and the organ gun were probably the biggest key to this success. Look at that, 106 kills, guys. And keep in mind, it also dealt with the Pharaoh Stegodon. It also dealt with the Salamanders. We destroyed the Temple Guard. I mean, it's just a really good pick. If you're going to invest in the organ gun, guys, might as well buff it up with the Master Engineer. The Peak Gate Guard, obviously, paid for themselves twice over. 146 kills with my hammers. These guys are your counter to really powerful Temple Guards and things like that. And the Dwarf Warriors, guys, I mean, for such a cheap unit, they held his Saurus and units in place the whole game. He didn't really break them, and that was great. And you can see that allowed my range units, the Thunderers and the Iron Drakes, to do their job, and we just systematically were able to shut down my opponent right here. So that was a really cool game. After taking a little break, I think that was a really cool one to come back on. So as for Latin Knight right here, good game, my friend. It was just really hard. I mean, you really needed to get that backline harass, but I was prepared for it. I didn't let your Cav get into me, and I was able to screen out his Pterodons. So, yeah, if you don't shut down that organ gun, guys, you're going to be in a world of pain, especially if they have line of sight. So, all right, guys, it's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm going to go swimming, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.